I'm going to give this a 20 as well. I'm not great at maths. 20 and 20, that's 55, that's 65. All right, hello again, everyone. Paul here from To All My Friends. What are we doing today? We thought we'd do something a little bit different today. It's an idea we've had for a little while, which is making a system to judge beers, which isn't quite as complex as the BJCP, the Beer Judges Certification Program. It's quite a complex system when you start judging beers in competition. But we wanted to come up with something so we could just do videos and, you know, try and quantize beers to give them a rating number. And so we're doing this video, just kind of put it out to you as well. I'm going to come up with a few ideas here myself. So I'm just getting comfortable. So I thought, like, you know, 4 ingredients in beer, mostly 4 ingredients of beer. You've got your water, you've got your grain, and you've got your yeast, and you've got your hops. And I thought that would be a good place to start. So we have, forgive my terrible left-handed handwriting, we've got water, we've got yeast, we've got hops, and we've got, what's the other one we're missing there? Grain, but we're not going to put barley, we're going to put grain because, let's be honest, not every beer is made out of barley. You got wheat beers, you got corn, you got plenty, so we're just going to put grain. So this is kind of where I'm starting with when I personally kind of judge a beer because, look, I've been brewing beer for a long time, so I don't really need to be told what style of beer I'm drinking. I'm usually pretty good at picking that up. But what I gravitate to first is those ingredients in the beer. Now, the first thing that I pick up on is a nice sweetness. This is my palate. My eyes are picking up on something different. You know, my eyes aren't tasting sweetness. It's definitely my palate. So my eyes are picking up that it's clear. That's a clear beer. It's a straw, like a golden straw-like color. And that would lead me to believe, well, that they're not using an ale malt for this, they're using a Pilsner malt, and they haven't probably put any adjuncts into it, adjuncts being anything that is not one of these 4. So when we think of, what's a good example of adjunct? Fruit. Fruit in sour beers. Fruit would be an adjunct. So something outside of those 4 ingredients. So if we looked at beer as in holistically, you want to get a perception from your eyes, you want to get a perception from your nose, and you want to get a perception from your palate. Those 3 things together will really gravitate you towards what kind of beer you're drinking, and if there's any faults or flaws there, things that shouldn't be there, and also things that are missing, you know, because there's 2 ways to look at that. You can say that this beer has an off flavor, might have diacetyl, acetaldehyde, phenolics, something like that. But then again, that's something that is present there. Then times that you drink a beer and something's missing. Like this beer, for instance. I'm loving the sweet malt profile. I'm loving the floral notes from the hops. There's a sweetness on the nose as well. My palate is also telling me that it might be missing a little bit of bitterness. This is just my opinion. So what I'm trying to do here is not, again, I will stress this, we're not going for a BJCP review or judging of beer. We wanted to get something that was ours and yours. And when I do beer testing myself, and I do my tasters, that we can always try and taste them together, and then at the end of it we can have a number that out of 10 that quantifies that beer. So I would put it out to you, all of my beer lovers out there. What would you like to add to something like this to get to a point where we can do 5-10 minute videos And at the end of it, we can get something out of 10, you know, like a 7.5 or a thing. And I think the best way to do that, as I said, my thing is going from water, yeast, hops and grain, looking at how they work together. We can talk about mouthfeel, smell, aroma, faults, flaws. But in my mind, I think it's just the 4 things plus the adjuncts that work together. They give you all of those things anyway. So I'm just going to have a stab at this because there's room for improvement. Yes. Right. The water is clean. It has almost a minerality to it, this one, a saltiness, a perceived saltiness. Not like a sour, it's not like, bang, this has salt in it, not like a gosa or something like that. But the minerality there is definitely pushing me towards, it's not soft, is what I'm saying. So, I don't know, let's go, we've got 4 here, let's give these 25, let's just divide these into quarters. So we can go for water. I like it, I'm gonna give that an 18. I'm going to give that an 18 out of 25. There is some room for improvement in that water profile, in my opinion. It might be reverse osmosis water, and they've built the water profile up. Definitely not bad. Definitely not bad at all. I'm enjoying this beer. The yeast. This beer is, it's clean. It is so clean. I can't stress that enough, and I want that in a Pilsner. If I was drinking a British IPA, I don't want the yeast profile to be clean. So for this yeast profile, I'm going to give this a 20. A 20 out of 25. Hops. Now, I started by saying this, that this beer could, for me, have a little bit more bitterness to separate the sweetness and the aromatics that I'm smelling. I think that would work well. So, look, I'm going to give it a 15 out of 25 because I thought, again, subjectively, that it could have had a little bit more bitterness. The grain, you don't have to do this in order. You can do it any way you want, really, I think. It's sweet. Has a soft biscuit feel to it. Not quite bready. It's not bready, it's more of a biscuit. Toasty biscuit. I like it. I'm going to give this a 20 as well. I'm not great at maths. 20 and 20, that's 55. That's 65. That is 73. I've given it a 73 out of 100. So it's a 7.3. Now you can see what I'm getting at here. That was done very, very, it's quite nonchalant, wasn't it? But that's a 7.3. So that's what I'm trying to get to here. Something that we can do. How you doing, Neil? Good. Good, man. Another beer delivery. Love it. So there, we've got to a 7.3 out of 10. So as I said, we wanted to come to a number that was quantifiable. Right. Now, once we've got to that, we can go back through it and think about how the water is reacting with each ingredient, what the yeast is doing. So we can go through them all and just put one against the other. That's one way I think we could do it. But again, I want to put it out to you beer drinkers and brewers and people in the industry or not, just like beer lovers, basically. We want a system where we can do our beer videos and make them concise as possible without getting into the details that the BJCP require, and there's a reason that they require that. We're trying to do something a little bit different, so I think I'll leave it at that. This is a start. It's a start. Sorry, you won't be able to read my left-handed handwriting, will you? I would like your input to see what we could do better. If you have any ideas of how we could, I mean, I've just put this into a very simple, what would it be? Very simple algorithm, I guess, to judge beer. And if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. The more conversation we have about something like this, the better it will be, and the more concise it will be. I hope. Stop saying Paul. I think we'll leave it at that. Let's go and drink another beer now and see if we can use this system again and see what we come up with. So hold that thought. I'll be right back.